Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello my dear students, welcome back to First Commerce Accountancy online classes. Dear students, we are discussing about the concept, how to apply the rule and how we can find out the two different accounts or more than two different accounts in a single transaction. Correct, right? Let's take down the next illustration, illustration 2. That is, this illustration 2 also includes some of the transactions, and the first one is take down the transactions. Goods costing rupees 25,000 was sold to Chaitra traders. 25,000 worth goods sold to Chaitra traders. I told that when person name comes in the organization, if the transaction stopped there itself, it not continued for the further sentence like Chaitra traders for cash or no cash, like that. If the transaction ends with here, then ends here, then you should consider that transaction is a credit transaction. Okay, when we purchased goods for credit, then it is considered as liability for the organization, means liability for us. Same way, when we are selling goods to some other on credit, then it is considered as asset. How? See, creditors is considered as liability, debtors is considered as asset for the organization. Say for example, in simple agi heltene, purchase ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೋ ಆವಾಗ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನಾಳೆ ಆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅವರು ಪೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ನಾವು ಆಸ್ ಅ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆನ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಮೌಂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅಸೆಟ್, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್, if goods purchased for credit, then one person came, that person name is creditor, that is considered as guest. And when sold goods on credit to some other organization, that person is called as debtor ಅನ್ನೋ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್. ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ? ಯಾವಾಗ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೋ ಆವಾಗ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್. ಯಾವಾಗ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಆವಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದು ಯಾರು? ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಎಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ costing rupees 25,000 was sold to Chaitra for rupees 25,000. What is the first step? We should identify the two accounts. What are the two accounts are affected here? One is sale. We sold. So one is sold means one is sales. Goods sales, one is sales account, another one is Chaitra traders. Why here Chaitra traders came? Why the Chaitra traders affected here? Because she is a debtor. Actually ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟಿಗೆ? 25,000ಗೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಸೆಟೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ? 25,000ಗೆ. ಸೊ Chaitra trader is considered as a debtor is considered asset. So increases in asset is to be debited. Sale is considered as revenue. So revenue source ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಗೆ. It can earn some revenue from sale involving with selling activities. So sale is considered as revenue when we are selling something, when we are in the transaction says that sold some product to someone, that is revenue earned. Sale ಆಗುವಾಗ ಏನು earn ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Revenue earn ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So revenue is considered as so sale is comes under revenue account. Revenue account, according to the revenue account, what is the rule of revenue? Increases in revenue is to be credited. Increases in revenue is to be credited. Increases in asset is to be debited. Always amount to be debited must equal to the amount to be credited. Let's see the first transaction. Analyze the first transaction. So this is the analysis of transaction. Analysis of transaction. The first one is, first two accounts are affected here. One is sales, another one is Chaitra traders. ನಾವು ಚೈತ್ರ ಟ್ರೇಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಚೈತ್ರ ಟ್ರೇಡರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ ಯಾರಿದು? ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಸೆಟ್. ಡೆಟ್ಟರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಸೆಟ್. ಸೇಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಸೇಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ just apply the rule here. We know the rules of debit and credit of different accounts. So ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಇನ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ credited. So how much credited here? 25,000. Credit here, debit here, debit here, credit here, like that. So sales increases in revenue is to be debited. Increases in revenue is to be credited. Don't be confused. Increases in revenue is to be credited and increases in asset is to be debited. 25,000 debited here. So Chaitra trader is considered as a debtor of the organization. So here Chaitra trader increased, means Chaitra trader debtor ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಸೆಟೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ? 25,000 ಅಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ? ಸೊ ಸೇಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ. Increase in revenue is to be credited. And one more, Chaitra trader, it is considered as, she is a debtor, so it is considered as asset. Increases in asset is to be debited. So increases in asset is to be debited. Now the amounts to be debited equal to amounts to be credited. Clear? And the next transaction, take the next transaction. Paid monthly store rent of rupees 5,000 in cash. Specifically mentioned. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪೇಡ್ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ರೆಂಟ್ rupees 5,000. ಸೊ just first what you should do, you should identify the two different accounts. Two different accounts here. So one is rent. You pay rent. Suppose salary paid, salary is considered as one account, and one more account is what? Cash here. Cash is affected. So payment of rent, rent payment, salary payment or other commission payment or interest payment, all the payments are considered as what? Simple ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ all these are considered as expense. Rent, commission, interest and payment of salaries all are comes under expenses. So rent, whether it expenses is increased or decreases, exactly expenses increases here. Cash, in cash actually you had just assume that you had 1 lakh rupees. Out of that 1 lakh you are paying 5,000 to rent, to pay the rent. So 5,000 reduced, decreased. So cash is decreased. Now now we identified the two accounts affected here. One is cash, another one is rent. Another one is rent. Just apply the rule. Increases in expenses is to be debited. Increases in expenses is to be debited. What increased here? Rent. Expenses increased here. So how much? 5,000. Increases in expenses is to be debited. Decreases in asset is, here two different accounts are affected. One is rent is considered as expense, one more cash is considered as asset. So increases in expenses is to be debited, decreases in asset is to be credited. So 5,000 here. Amounts debited equal to amounts of credit. Okay, so here just analyze this. One is cash. Cash is considered as asset. When payment, say at the time of payment of rent, salary, our cash reduces, means our asset reduces, shows reduces. So decreases in asset is to be credited. And one more account here affected is rent. Rent is considered as comes under expenses or losses. So increases, expenses increases. So increases in expenses is to be debited. Increases in expenses is to be debited. Now it is equal. 5,000 equal to 5,000. Like that. Understood? Understood this? So two accounts are affected here, rent and cash. Next, take the next one illustration. Just analyze the next illustration affected and find out the two accounts affected in the third transaction. Paid salary rupees 15,000 to the office employees. Paid salary to the office employees. What are the two accounts are affected here? One is salary account. One is salary account. So salary hege pay martiri? In the check or else in the cash. Direct cash ಕೊಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಚೆಕ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಎಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಎಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ paid salary rupees 15,000 to the employee by check, then you can consider that transaction as bank transaction. So there you can assume that bank is affected there, but here transaction is not like that. So you should consider as what? Salary and cash account are the two accounts are affected here. So two accounts. Two accounts. One is here salary is expense, cash is asset. Expenses increases, asset decreases. Increases in expense is to be debited. So salary account and one more is cash account. Your sales account, Chaitra traders account, salary account, like that. So salary increases, salary is considered as what? Salary is considered as expense or loss. Increases in expenses is to be debited. So how much? 15,000 debited. One more is cash. Cash is considered as asset. Asset cash salary pay ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದ್ದ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟೆಡ್. ನಾವ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. 50,000 ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ಗೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್? ಡೆಬಿಟ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ಗೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆದರೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ salary account to be debited, cash account to be credited. So this is according to the third transaction. Let's analyze the fourth one. Fourth one, purchased machinery for rupees 50,000 and paid in cash and paid cash. Purchased machinery. When we are purchasing machinery, what are the two accounts are affected? Say for example, in the previous sum, purchased furniture. So we consider one is purchase and another one is there we purchased furniture on credit transaction. So one more account is affected, one more account was affected there. But here we purchased machinery. So of course one account is machinery account. Machinery, and another account we paid, when we purchasing machinery we paid cash, so cash account is affected. So what are the two accounts we identified, what are the two accounts are affected here in fourth transaction? Machinery and cash account. So one is machinery, first one is machinery, and considered the second is cash, because by paying cash we purchased machinery, so cash account. Suppose ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಚೆಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಚೆಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ಗೆ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷಿನರಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಸೆಟೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಮೆಷಿನರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಸೆಟ್, machinery increases in asset is to be debited. How much? 50,000. Increases in asset is to be debited. Cash 50,000 cash reduce ಆಯಿತು. Decreases in asset is to be credited. Decreases in asset is to be credited. So increases in asset is to be debited, decreases in asset is to be credited. So here machinery is considered as asset, increases, so we debited here. And the next one is cash. Cash is also considered as asset, but cash shows reduced value, so it is credited. So it is credited. So machinery account and cash account are the two accounts are affected in one particular transaction. Now take down the assignment question for this class. I'll give the similar transaction. Try to analyze the transaction. Transaction 1, homework 2, transaction 1, goods purchased for rupees 20,000. You should identify the two transactions involved in this, and you should apply the rule like this. And the second one, goods sold for rupees 50,000. Here person name is not mentioned, so you should consider as sale and cash. At the time of sale, revenue increases, same way cash is also shows increased value. Getting my point? So this is a two transaction, you have to work out on this two transaction, try to find out the two different accounts and apply the rule like this. Thank you for watching this video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.